David, don't feed the trolls. Don't do it, David. Don't feed the trolls. They don't understand they feed me. I get my life force from idiots. Chris on the YouTube page, yes, I'm going to mention you. You're an idiot. He's talking about how A&M wins one game against Missouri. Now we think we're going to blast everybody. Not once on this show have we said that. If you had listening comprehension, you'd be able to listen, but you don't. You came in with a stupid agenda to our show just to feel like you're relevant. And look, I'm going to get the Aggies all worked up. You're just stupid, dumb. You represent Longhorns in a negative light. You're an embarrassment to the entire community for thinking that way. Not one time did we say that. Callie, did we not say you got to bring your A game on the road at Mississippi State?
We did.
And if you bring your A game on the road at Mississippi State, you should come away with a victory.
You should.
That's how it works, idiot. Hey friends, David Nuno here. We call this show TexAgs Rewind, presented by Specs in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And we had a, look, I don't want to point out some of the mistakes, right? But some of the mistakes were taken out of our control, right? And if A&M has those kind of mistakes on the road at Mississippi State, they're going to have to play catch-up in the second half. But the beauty is, Cade, we had a great second half. In fact, I think we had a great second quarter, correct?
That's right. You know, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And, you know, they had us in the first half, not going to lie, but we got it figured out. Great offensive coordinator here at TexAgs Live. We had Olin Buchanan on the show. He was phenomenal. He's going on the road to SEC Basketball Media Days. Callie, your favorite part of the program was?
It had to be your rant at the end of the 9 o'clock hour.
I did have a little 2.5 minute rant. Can we add that to the rewind, Kate? Is that allowed? Are we allowed to do that?
I think hypothetically we could, yes.
It's my show. We can do it. All right, I just told you. Just kidding. It's our show. Community of fun. What was your favorite part, Cade?
There was a whole lot of Liucci today, so I'm going to say Liucci. Oh, and Jackie Sherrill, obviously.
Jackie Sherrill. That and more. Check it out. It is the Rewind.
Le'Veon leads the SEC in yards per carry among running backs with at least 55 attempts.
Right.
So if you're actually, now you might have, he's got 6.92. I think Jamario Miller of Alabama averages just a shade over 7 yards a carry, but has only had like 51 carries. Okay. So if you're at like 55 or so, that you know, guys with more carries, just like batting average, the more you do it, the lower it's going to be. He has the highest average per carry.
Yeah. So you think Le'Veon? Let's give another one.
Well, it could be Connor because
they give him a lot of passing yards.
They do. Plus, they're going to. Everybody always wants to stop the run first. Uh-huh. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mississippi State comes out trying to overplay the run to take Le'Veon out, and then some huge plays available in the play action, because I was watching their game last night against Georgia.
Yep.
And, you know, Mississippi State typically has really good secondary play. There's NFL guys, there's guys all over the NFL in the secondary from Mississippi State. Based on what I've seen, that's not the case this year.
Not the case.
Big holes and big plays to be made in the against the Mississippi State secondary.
I'm going to give you one more.
Okay. Noah Thomas.
Noah Thomas. He's had 3 straight pretty good games, right?
An
14 elite
catches
game.
in the last 3 games.
I think if we're throwing, he's catching.
Yeah.
I simplified it, but I think that's what's going to happen.
He really is starting to emerge and emerge, and all those. We're seeing why he was projected that he can be a true number 1.
Yep.
And he sure was last week.
So I'm going to give you a defensive statistic here.
All right, I like them.
Well, it's offensive about Mississippi State, but it could be defensive for A&M.
Okay.
So Mississippi State has only thrown 2 interceptions on the year. It's pretty good, halfway through the season, right?
Okay.
I think A&M has only thrown 2 on the year. Does that sound right? Just the Notre Dame game? Is that the only?
I believe that is correct.
Okay. But they've given up 11 sacks between the 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know, A&M, what they're good at doing.
They can rush the passer.
Yeah, they're really good at that. So all these things are starting to look like it should be an A&M demolition match, right? But it never plays out
all
that way.
the indicators, and I mean all of them, with the possible exception of Mississippi State, like you mentioned, played a pretty strong half against Texas and wouldn't go away.
Against Georgia.
Against Georgia. Georgia was never in doubt. You know, they were never worried about losing.
Is that a question more about Georgia's defense?
It may be. It may be, especially if you look at Georgia's defense since the second half against Alabama, or the first half, whatever. But anyway, all all the indicators are pointing to an A&M win, and an A&M comfortable win.
Last thing for you, Jackie. When you look at a team like Mississippi State, they're so bad at stopping the run. To me, A&M's great at running the ball. Is it a foregone conclusion that A&M will do that, or is that simplifying what a coach is thinking entering a game week?
Well, when you put your game plan together, that's, what can you do? I mean, what did they do good? What did they do not so good? And then you're really looking for mismatches. Can you, run the ball? Can you throw it? Can you throw certain routes against their defensive back scheme? But, which guy up front in your running game are you going to attack? So to answer your question, yes. If you're looking at a team that is not good up front, the first thing you think, well, we're going to attack where they're the weakest, and so we're going to run the football. However, that gives you an opportunity if you're running the football, and it's any team, it opens up the throwing game for you a bunch. Now, Mike Leach and his offense, he threw the ball to open up the running game. So, but yes, we need to run the football, because the only way that you're going to beat and get to the end, and when you're playing some very tough teams down the road from Auburn to LSU to Texas, is be able to run the football. If any team that you make one-dimensional, you got a great advantage.
Billy, another defensive person to consider, and part of it was because he didn't get to play because of some penalties, but Dalton Brooks, I feel you pointed out his arrow way early in the process before the season started. He's living up to that, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I said that last year when he got here. We liked it when you signed him, but certainly the early returns were really impressive, and he had to pick him in the bowl game. This offseason, I repeatedly said I thought he'd be one of the best players from the defense. He had a chance to star. And I think we're starting to see that now finally. Not finally, but once he missed essentially a whole game. really like a game and a half, almost 2 games due to targeting. Most of played one play against Notre Dame, and then the second half of Florida, first half of Bowling Green. So yeah, I mean, now you see him, and he's an impact defender. He's a difference maker on the back end for Mike Elko. Yeah,
no doubt. And then someone on the defensive line, and I don't know who that is, Billy. There's many guys we can talk about. We can say Rodis Johnson, we can say DJ Hicks, but when you talk about the D-line, somebody that we haven't expected, who on the D-line do you think is poised to have a nice second half?
I don't know, David, because, I mean, what we're expecting from the starters. Maybe Shamar Turner just goes wild in the second half. I mean, he's had a good half of the season playing down there in the trenches, but maybe he starts, being extra disruptive. That's there. The potential is there. Maybe I think between him and Shamar Stewart, Nick Scott on any given Saturday and get you 3 sacks or 4 tackles for loss or something. So that's wild to say about one D line, but I think any of them, man, you named them all. I think it's just going to be a rotating thing. You say Cassius Howell, Ryland Kennedy, so I think it'll just be a thing that as the weeks go on, you never know where it's going to come from. So 23 in regulation against LSU, 27 against South Carolina, and 17 against Kentucky. Do you see something there? Is it safe to say that Ole Miss's offense has not lived up to expectations?
Safe to say, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean LSU held them to 23. I would say Ole Miss several times. LSU, by the way, and it has nothing to do with A&M. So A&M was fortunate. I wouldn't say they were fortunate to beat Arkansas. At no point did it feel like Arkansas had like control of that football game. It felt like Ole Miss had chances to win that game earlier, like to kind of take total control of the football game against LSU and couldn't do it. And, they had that disastrous mistake right before halftime. It felt like, though, Ole Miss, those teams play again like they could have taken control. The same can be said for South Carolina before Sellers got hurt. So I don't know what to think of LSU yet. I do know that they're going to be a really tough game for A&M, but they could go up and lose at Arkansas this weekend if Taylor Green is healthy and able to go. Like, that's not off the table. Like, I don't know how strong or weak LSU. I don't think LSU is a juggernaut on defense by any stretch, but I don't know like what progress they've actually made.
All right, Carlita, I want you to tell the people what to do, but I want you to add something new to the list. All right, it's a bunch of things. Maybe ask somebody to say something on the comments in particular. All right, you go.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, and comment your score prediction for the Mississippi State game. Is that bad? That's
great. Actually, that's what you should do. I wanted something random.
Oh.
So, but that's okay. That's all right. If you do that, or if you type something completely random and do ... Callie, we'll know that was the random thought. Deal?
Deal.
All right. Well, the deal's with them.
Right.
But I looked
the
at you.
deal's with you guys.
This went entirely too long. We'll see you next time.